Going live. We're live. Well, hi, everybody. It's an early day. Wow. It's not even 9 o'clock. And the reason I'm on a whole hour ahead of time is because the week is still crazy. Things are still swirling. And there's a bunch of stuff that has to happen this week and next. So I'm going to be dancing between the raindrops and jumping on whenever I can to talk about these things that are occurring to me in the middle of the craziness. So I saw this great little meme, and I posted on Facebook this morning about writers who are constantly insulted. And the best thing about that is when you're published and you're a hit, you get even. It's a long it's a long journey to satisfaction, but there you are. And that kind of put me in the mood to talk about why we aren't hearing each other. The last few days, weeks have been complicated, a little terrifying, and frustrating because communications, which isn't really something that you depend on for life-saving treatments. However, it is the bedrock. It is the bedrock of understanding about what we're all here for and what we're doing. And when you get six people each telling you six different versions of something that really don't make a lot of sense, it's scary. It's complicated. It's terrifying. So I wanted to talk about that this morning because people get it wrong all the time. People aren't listening, mostly because we're not speaking their language. And I'm not talking about French or Italian or Urdu or any of that. I'm talking about the words that really trigger us, that resonate with us, that make us say, oh, they're talking about me. Hello, yes, here I am. And it's kind of an exercise in translation. And you can only get there when you finally figure out who they are. So the preamble to almost anything is looking for common ground, is finding something the two of you have in common other than I'm broken and you fix people. You want to touch their humanity. You want to touch the person who at the end of the day takes off their famous face, whatever that might be, doctor, lawyer, first responder, police person, surgeon, mom, dad, leadership roles. When they take off that famous persona and just become them, that's the language you need to understand. Those are the words you need to figure out how to speak. There is a trick to it. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more. I learned it as a kid, as a military brat, traveling a lot, going to different locations, places, and trying to establish common ground as fast as I possibly could, because I never knew how long we were going to be anywhere. And, and practice makes slick. Practice makes quick. And so I know a lot of people don't do that. When I talk to people, I look for something that could probably be a fit. And I keep trying. I keep asking questions or saying things, and I watch their expressions. And if I get them to smile or laugh or say, "Oh my God, I'm going to borrow that." Okay, now I know some words they truly understand. The next thing I ask, they're going to hear me differently. They're going to hear me human to human, not provider to kvetcher or moaner. We're going to be equals on the same page. And the funniest thing happened yesterday. I was reaching out to find a person who has an interesting role in the healthcare industry, profession, niche. They're called pivot nurses. They're called nurse navigators, coordinators, and what they do basically, for anyone who has no idea what they're supposed to do when you're discharged from a hospital, they become your intermediary. They are the person everyone answers the calls from. They know the ins and outs. They know that while this is what it says on the website, this is really the way you go there. They have a long background, a strong background in the area that you suddenly find yourself in. So I had hunted high and low because people kept saying, oh, this is what you need. And happy Thursday and good morning, DJ, right back at you. Um, so I had asked many times, where do I find this? How do I find this? What do I do? And I kept getting told, well, you'll have to do that at the other place. And I said, but this is a place where everyone knows what's wrong. Why wouldn't I start here? Well, because we don't handle that. Once you move on, you've moved on, and you need somebody who's involved in the other things. And I thought, as I was told that repeatedly, I thought, this is not the answer that's going to help me, because I don't know how to get to that next place to talk to find those people until after I'm there. And I need this person now in order to get there. And for some reason, it just wasn't sinking in to the people I asked, because every single one of them was kind, compassionate, expert in their field. And yet, for some reason, this wasn't getting through. And I thought, maybe I sound like a complainer. Maybe I sound like one of those people who just won't take no for an answer. And to a certain extent, that's true. So I stopped asking those people, and I went in search of someone who had been very sympathetic earlier. And I said, I don't know what to do, and I'm terrified. There's got to be someone here. And for some reason, that phrase touched that person. And she said, okay, here's what you do. Go here, ask for this person, tell them I said, this is serious. And I said, okay, thank you. And I went where I was told to go, and I sought out the person I was supposed to see. And I said, so-and-so says this is serious. Can you help me? And lo and behold, the woman said, tell me what the problem is. And so I explained, and my frustration, and the fact that I'm a civilian in a professional world. And she said, okay, I'm going to take you to see somebody. And she did. And when I met this person, who then explained the basics and the ground rules for this, I said, this sounds a lot like show business. And she said, oh, really? And she said, I have a little bit of a background in show business. In what way do you think this is show business? And I said, well, this function you do sounds like a showrunner. And she said, that's exactly who it is. She said, everyone takes my calls. And I said, hallelujah. Now, who would have ever thought that I would be in a hospital doing my best to help my friend, and the open sesame language that got me into the right person had nothing to do with nursing or aftercare. It had everything to do with fear, humanity, and show business. Is that incredible or what? We had an incredible talk. She also has amazing shoes. And she gave me 3 ways to contact her. And the last thing she said was, and it's never an intrusion. If you feel that you need to call, then it's up to me to find the way to listen. How magical is that? I had been hitting my head against a wall for weeks. This got resolved in minutes because I used the right language. So as I promised, I'm going to talk about this a little more as time goes on. Next week is just an absolute confusion. There's a series of treatments every day at a very early hour, which means leaving the house at a very early hour for the pickup and the get there and the rush hour and the who knows what the weather will be. So it's going to be spotty. It's going to be iffy when I can come on and record. And I apologize profusely. This is just one of those things that landed in my lap, and I'm leaning in. So I must go now because there are things that I have to do that are going to make a difference. And I want you to know before I go 2 things. We're only 2 subscribers away from my goal of 175 for Christmas. 2. That's so exciting. And the other is You mean the world to me. So, overwhelmed a little? No, overwhelmed a lot. So in the meantime, until next time, whenever next time is, hopefully Tuesday, hopefully Thursday, maybe early, maybe late, I want you to do two things. Be good to you. Hug your loved ones. I'll speak to you soon.